Test 63C is the harvest motor system test. This test requires that the ice bucket be removed from the Icemaker chamber prior to entering this test. Push the on-off key to start the test. The ice mold should move to the freeze position and the freezer display shows the current motor status. A 0 means no errors detected. From that moment, the ice mold will alternate its positions continuously between freeze and fill. After completing the first full cycle, the freezer display will show a 1, meaning it is good. Pushing the on-off key again will stop the harvest motor. The Icemaker controller will monitor functionality of the fill and the freeze limit switches, as well as the travel time between freeze and fill. If any of the harvest motor errors are detected, the motor stops. The freezer display will show either a 2 if the harvest motor timed out, or a 3 if both switches are on. After the error condition is detected, push the on-off key. That will reset the freezer display and restart the test. When diagnosing during the test, does the motor move normally, at least 2 cycles, and the user interface display a 1? If so, the motor is in a good working condition, and the test is complete. If not, does the mold stall just before the limit? If it does, look for any obstructions and repair, including misrouted wires, ice buildup, or deformed plastic, and re-enter Test 63C. If the motor does not stall just before the limit, does the motor then still drive after physically making a switch? If that is the case, use Test 59C for the fill switch or Test 60C for the freeze switch to investigate the limit switches and re-enter Test 63C. If the switches are not the problem, does the mold move some but stall in the middle of travel, especially with a popping noise? If that is the case, remove the gearbox and turn the input shaft by hand and re-enter Test 63C. Replace the gearbox if the motion is rough or jams. If that is not the case, inspect the harness continuity and condition from the motor to the 12-pin connector to the Icemaker board. Pin 8 to Pin 2 to J1-21. Pin 7 to Pin 8 to J1-22. Pin 5 to Pin 3 to J1-9. Pin 4 to Pin 9 to J1-10. If there is a continuity failure, harness damage, or loose connections, then repair the harness and re-enter Test 63C. If there is no continuity failure, harness damage, or loose connections, then set a voltmeter to AC, unplug the motor, restart Test 63C, and verify voltages at the connector. Pin 8 to Pin 7, 7 volts AC. Pin 8 to Pin 5, 13 volts AC. Pin 8 to Pin 4, 7 volts AC. Restart Test 63C as needed, as the test will end after 30 seconds. If the voltages check out, replace the motor and re-enter Test 63C. If they do not, repeat the procedure at the Icemaker board, J1-21 to J1-22, 7 volts AC, J1-21 to J1-9, 13 volts AC, the J1-21 to J1-10, 7 volts AC. If their voltages are good, re-inspect all harnesses and re-enter Test 63C. If any voltages are off, replace the Icemaker board and re-enter Test 63C.